Secondary air issues. First, we discovered vacuum hose chewed off at the pressure sensor. We ran into all of the meta tests and all that good stuff. Checked for solenoid controls. They're all present, or at least the ones we can get at. And then we get under here and we find that chewed off vacuum hose. So we decide we're gonna go ahead and run some tests while we're here. And we see that the pump really ain't making any pressure. So suspect pump issue. So we start tearing it apart. We're wondering, well, get the new pump together. We've got two valves back there, right and left bank, whatever you want to call them. And of course your check valve, primary valve up here, which is monitored by the pressure sensor, seeing air flow and of course air drop when the valves move. So I'm like, well, I can set this up to do a test and monitor it up there on the pressure sensors on the snap-on while I'm doing it. So I run the pump and I have nothing. So I pull the vacuum hose off and I apply a vacuum pump to the sensor, pull vacuum, add pressure. Sensor's obviously functioning good. So I pull the pump out for more investigation, and we get in here and we're completely full of crap. Looks like air filter particles, I'd imagine, possibly. But now to verify if we can clean that out and that pumps, or that check valve, will still operate correctly and move air. And then I'll run the next test, pressurize again, apply a vacuum to the two control solenoids back there, and watch for the pressure drop up on the screen over there. But obviously my pump's not making pressure. Blades look good, but being the situation it is under the intake, we're going to go ahead and install the new pump, because I've seen a lot of crap inside the pump too. So clearly the pump's seen its better days. But this kind of figuring out how to test. But what do you want to do? You know, me, being I got a sensor on the vehicle, figured use it. Verified sensor's good. Then go ahead and start pressure on the system and operate the controls. I know the solenoids work electrically. I just figured it's easier for me to just apply vacuum myself, operate the solenoid, watch for the pressure drop. What we got out of the check valve, at least that's what I'm calling it. They call it one of the switching valves, but it's a primary valve in line to the whole system. I mean, a little guy climbed through the pump into this and made him a home. And now we're just checking valve operation. This is a $330 component. So I'm trying to clean it up and just reuse it, because it seems like it is functioning. Get you guys in here where you might actually be able to see it. Valve is working. I'm just using battery to move the valve. Quick little test I've rigged up before I close this intake, just to check operation of the electric valve. The two new ones I stuck on, because when I first ran this test, the old valves were leaking. They were just letting air pass by. So now I'm put the new switching valves on. I've cleaned out the check valve, which is a very pricey valve, and replaced the actual motor, the secondary air pump. And what I'm doing is just hardwiring the fan, hardwiring the check valve, watching pressure drop up on the data screen, and then go ahead and operate. I'm gonna operate one solenoid. I've already done this with both. It's a pain to go ahead and switch. So I'm just gonna do one to show you. Here's our pump. Pump is running. Pressure's starting to build. I'll operate the check valve to move just a little air, because the solenoids are closed. It gets a little drop, but not much. But then I'll put vacuum. You can hear the change in the air though. When I operate the solenoid, the check valve. Now I'm going to apply vacuum. And you hear the air change again. And you see a big drop. So I know everything is functioning on your intake. I can put my intake on any other test. I know I'm not going to have to go under the intake. It's good underneath there.